You've probably noticed it. The whole conversation around UFOs has just exploded lately. I mean, it's gone from a fringe topic to something being discussed in congressional hearings. But it's not just official reports. We're getting slammed with this flood of really shocking whistleblower claims and all these viral videos. So what's real and what's not? Today, let's try to build a kind of toolkit, a way to actually investigate these incredible claims.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a claim that goes way beyond some strange lights in the sky. This is Dr. Stephen Greer. He's a huge name in the UFO disclosure world, and he's not just saying there are secret projects hiding alien tech. No, he's alleging that they're running a secret and frankly pretty gruesome human-alien hybrid program. It's a wild accusation, and it really sets the stage for the kind of stuff we need to figure out how to unpack.
All right, now let's completely switch gears. We're going from a modern, high-tech conspiracy to something that sounds more like an ancient myth. This is a story that's been passed around military circles for years, an anecdote about a special forces team in Afghanistan that supposedly ran into and ended up killing a 12-foot-tall, red-haired giant. You see, this isn't about cover-ups or secret labs. It's just a raw, brutal story of a supposed fight with something, well, something not from around here. And just to show you how wide-ranging this gets, here's a totally different perspective. This is a claim from Hopi Elder Maleva, who talks about having regular contact with beings from somewhere else. But in his telling, they don't care about our bodies or our DNA. He says they come to cemeteries to harvest some kind of plasma energy from people who've passed on. So with this, the whole conversation shifts again, right out of military tech and into something deeply spiritual. Okay, so secret hybrid programs, giant man-eating humanoids, and energy-sucking spirits. It is an absolute flood of information, and all from what seem like completely different realities. How on earth are you supposed to make sense of any of it? Well, that's the goal here. We're going to try and build a toolkit, a framework you can use to apply some critical thinking to these incredible, incredible stories.
Let's start with the stuff we all see first, the viral footage. You know the clips, a weird light in the sky, a strange figure in the woods. For millions of people, these clips are the proof. But before we just accept them, we have to ask a really important question. What are we actually looking at?
You know, the biggest challenge here is telling the difference between a real anomaly, something truly weird and unexplained, and just a simple technical glitch, an artifact. Is that really an intelligent orb zipping around, or is it just lens flare? Is that person's face actually shape-shifting, or is it just what happens when a low-quality video gets compressed? These are the very first questions we've got to ask. So let's put this idea to the test with a real example. Remember those orbs people saw during a NASA launch? The internet went nuts. It was a fleet of UFOs, an alien armada watching us. But if we apply our framework, a few pretty boring explanations pop up right away. They could just be ice crystals or little bits of debris from the rocket catching the sunlight. And if you watch closely, their movement really seems to be tied to the camera's motion, not like they're flying on their own. The biggest problem? The video quality is so bad, it's pretty much impossible to say for sure what anything is.
And how about this one, another viral classic, the shapeshifter video. The claim is huge that we're literally seeing a non-human being's disguise glitch out. But again, when you really look at it, the red flags are all over the place. The video is super low quality, which creates all sorts of digital weirdness that can look like a transformation. It could also just be a reflection. And here's the real kicker. You could fake this exact same effect in about 5 minutes with a simple video editing app.
Okay, so beyond grainy videos, the real heart of all this is the human testimony, right? The stories people tell. But here's the thing. Not all testimony is created equal. If we're going to evaluate it, we have to look at who is telling the story, what exactly they're claiming, and what kind of evidence they're basing it on.
So if we just map out those 3 claims we started with, you can see right away how different they are. Dr. Greer's story, it's basically a political military conspiracy theory, and it's all based on what he says is insider knowledge. The Afghanistan giant story is really a secondhand military legend, almost like folklore. And the Hopi Elder's account is deeply personal, it's spiritual, and it's rooted in his own life. See? These aren't just 3 stories. They are 3 totally different types of evidence. Now, we hear the term whistleblower thrown around all the time in this conversation, but by definition, a whistleblower is someone on the inside who is exposing something wrong, maybe something legal or unsafe. But in any situation, the single most important thing for a whistleblower's claim is corroborating evidence, documents, data, other people who can back up the story. Without that, it's just a story.
With all these stories about beings just zipping across galaxies, it's probably a good idea to ground ourselves in what we actually know about how brutal space travel really is. And we don't need to look at some distant star to do it. We just need to look at our next-door neighbor, Venus, and this incredible, almost forgotten story of the Soviet Venera program.
So picture it, the 1960s and 70s. The Soviet Union is dead set on being the first to land a probe on another planet. They pick Venus, thinking, hey, it's covering clouds. Maybe it's some kind of lush tropical paradise. Well, they could not have been more wrong. What they found and the incredible struggle just to survive there for a few minutes is a masterclass in just how hostile space really is.
And the engineering they had to come up with was just mind-bending. To keep from getting squashed by the atmospheric pressure, they basically had to build a titanium submarine. Then they realized the long, slow descent was melting the probe before it even landed. So their solution? Get this. They designed the parachute to actually break halfway down to make the probe fall faster. And to deal with the insane heat on the surface, they invented this whole new cooling system. Every single part of this mission was a hard-fought battle against a truly hellish place. And really, it all comes down to this one number, 500 degrees Celsius. That's over 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt lead. After all that brilliant engineering, the longest any of their advanced landers survived on the surface was less than 2 hours. Then they were just cooked and crushed. And that's the staggering challenge of just one planet, right next door. Any claim of interstellar travel has to deal with realities that are way, way tougher than this. So if the visual evidence is so shaky, and the physical reality of space is just that harsh, why are we so completely captivated by these stories? The answer might have less to do with who's visiting us from the stars and more to do with, well, us. Right now, we are living in a perfect storm for this kind of thing. Historically, whenever society feels uncertain or people lose trust in institutions, interest in unexplained stuff just surges. Now you combine that with a world where a crazy video can spread to millions in minutes, way faster than anyone can check the facts. And on top of all that, we have technology like AI and deepfakes getting so good that it's becoming nearly impossible to believe your own eyes. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. As AI gets good enough to create flawless fake video and audio, our most basic form of evidence, the whole idea of seeing is believing, is about to become totally obsolete. So think about it. In a future of perfect fakes, how will we prove anything? What will even count as truth? And that's a challenge that goes way, way beyond strange lights in the sky.